Hello dear listeners, welcome back to my channel my old friends. In the last video of ours we discussed about The Lamb written by William Blake, the theme poem of his Songs of Innocence. However, today we'll be discussing about articles, the grammatical concept of articles. So let's proceed. Before that, I would like to say, if you haven't subscribed my channel already, please subscribe my channel and don't forget to press the bell notification button so that you may stay updated from time to time regarding all my videos about various lessons in English language as well as English literature. So let's plunge into the lesson of articles. So what are articles? We know that articles are called determiners. Mind it, that Nesfeld described articles to be one kind of adjective. So why? Because articles, they, a and then the or the, they describe or modify, they qualify some kind of noun. For say, when we say a boy, a is used before the noun boy. So again, when we say a girl or something else like an owl, an honorable person, all these articles, as we know, are qualifying the noun actually. That's why Nesfeld told that it is one kind of adjective. So articles can be of two types, definite articles and indefinite articles. Definite articles is mainly the or the. So what is the usage of the and what is the usage of the? The is used before consonantal sounds for say the boy, the girl, the man, the woman, and so on and so forth. So what do we use the? The angel, the owl, the umbrella, and so on and so forth. So we use an before consonant sounds and we use a before consonant sounds and we use an before vowel sounds. So let's give some examples. For say an ant, an elephant, an inkpot, an orange, and so on and so forth. All these are beginning with vowel sounds. That's why we are using an one after the other. And again, we say an honorable man, an honest person, an honest human being, an heir, an hour, and so on. So all these words are beginning with the letter H. However, they are being pronounced as a or a. That is to say, they are beginning with vowel sounds. That's why an is being used one after the other word. So we say that I is used. I is used before the consonantal sounds. That is to say, like say, I'll be giving you some examples like a boy, a door, a window, a carpet, a curtain, a phone, a book, and so on and so forth. So we see that I is used before the consonantal sounds and an is used before the vowel sounds. So why do we use a universe, a union, a unicorn, a you, and so on and so forth? A useful article, a useless thing, and we don't say an useless subject, we say a useless subject, because again we say that a one idea, a $1 currency, and so on. So why do we use these? Because we must keep it in mind when we say a one idea. When we say a one idea, one is here used, we can spell it out for our beneficence or for understanding, for the sake of understanding, to be W-A-W. A one idea. In spelling it will be O-N-E-one, but for the sake of our understanding of the pronunciation, we can spell it as W-A. So it comes, as you notice that W is a consonantal sound. So we use A before A. One idea. Or a 1 rupee note. Again we use a unicorn, a university. Why? Because if for the sake of making the understanding easier, we can use a before a university, a union, a useless thing to mean that that word is beginning with a consonantal sound. So why do we say that U is a vowel? I think we should not say that. Yeah, U is a vowel. We know that U is a vowel, but the sound of U, it's not a vowel sound. It's a consonantal sound. We can spell it out as Y-U. So when we see that Y-U, it's pronounced as U. So it will be considered to be a consonant sound. That's why we use R before it. Again, we use an before an ant, an elephant, an inkpot, an R, an honest man, an air, an orange, an umbrella, and so on. In this case, we see that H is the beginning letter of the words. But we don't use an. We don't use R because we pronounce them with the vowel sound. So we must also remember that some native speakers use an before a few words like hotel, like they pronounce it like hotel, not hotel but hotel. So they use an, but in modern English we use a hotel. Keep it in mind. Let's now discuss about the use of definite article the or the. So, where do you use the or the? I have already explained it to you. Now let's understand the examples. With a few examples, I will make it clear to you. Suppose we talk about a person whom we have mentioned earlier. Now he or she becomes a particular person. We will use the before that person. Say or something particular thing has been addressed before, has been spoken about before as a common person. Right now that will be preceded by the. For example, I gave you a book last week. The book was very interesting. So why do we use a book previously and the book later on? Because when we say I gave you a book last week, I'm referring to a common book, not a particular book. But when we say that the book was very interesting, we are speaking about that particular book I gave it to you last week. That's why we use the here. Are we giving one example against each category so that the video doesn't become too long and it won't feel boring to you as well? When we say that a singular object is used to mean a collective whole. Suppose a single noun is used to mean a collective whole. For example, the cow is a useful animal. Again, the cow is a useful animal. So why do we use the cow? Because cow here means a collective whole. Again, we use the dog is a faithful animal. The collective whole, the collective class of dogs are used as the dog family. Again, when we use that some proper names like the Himalayas, the Gitanjali, the Ramayana, the Bible, the Mahabharata, and so on and so forth, all these proper nouns, all these particular nouns take the before them. But we must keep it in mind that when in case of referring to a mountain range like the Himalayas, we will use the Himalayas. But when we say that refer to a particular peak like Everest, Mount Everest, we won't say the Mount Everest. We will always say Mount Everest. So how will we use this example? Mount Everest is the highest peak of the Himalayas. Keep it in mind, please. Again, we say Homer's Iliad, Valmiki's Ramayana. But when we say that the Iliad by Homer and the Ramayana by Valmiki. So here we notice the difference of usage or application. We can say when we use an adjective to mean a proper noun, we use the, when we suppose, for example, the immortal Shakespeare. Valmiki is the Shakespeare of India. Why do we use that? Because to mean Valmiki, we are comparing Valmiki with Shakespeare, and this always takes the before it. Before superlatives, for say, this is the darkest hour of the day, to mean the particular hour that is the darkest indeed. We use the before ordinals. He is the first boy in the class. Before musical instruments, we can say that, for example, he plays on piano, but when we say that he plays the piano, we won't say he plays on the piano. We will say either we will say he plays on a piano, he plays on piano, or else we will say he plays the piano. When we say that always feed the hungry, here hungry refers to a class. So this class, the class of hungry, the family of hungry is to be fed, because hungry is a class, they are a collective whole here. That's why we use the before hungry. Again, we can use the more you read, the more you learn. So these are called adverbs of comparatives. Now let's plunge into the indefinite articles, the usage of indefinite articles. Why do we use indefinite articles? To mean something indefinite, to mean something not particular or common. Let's learn their usages. First of all, we say that 12 inches make a foot. So we know that 12 inches, the little length of 12 inches make a foot. So when we say that 12 inches make a foot is a collective unit here. Again, we say, Mr. James came to visit you. So why do we say that Mr. James? Because some Mr. James, one person named Mr. James came to visit you. But however, we don't know who Mr. James is, so we are unaware of his identity. That's why we say, Mr. Williams came to take your book. So here we refer to one unit. So why do we use Mr. Williams or Mr. James? Because we are not referring to some particular Mr. James, but Mr. James from the collective unit of human beings. Again, we say that Daniel came to judgment. Solomon gave his wise counsel. So why do we use these indefinite articles? Before Solomon or Daniel here. We know that Daniel is famous for his judgment. So we use Daniel in place of a wise man, a prudent man. So we can use Daniel gave his judgment to say that a wise man, a prudent man gave his judgment. Instead of a prudent man, we use Daniel. Again, we say that Solomon gave me a wise counsel. So we don't say that our wise man gave me a wise counsel. Again, against that, instead of that, we say that Solomon gave me a wise counsel. So so now let's conclude with the last course of our study today. Where will we not use articles? First say, we say, sugar is bad for your health. But we must say that please pass me the sugar. So what's the difference? When we say sugar is bad for your health, sugar here means that it's the material thing. But when we say, please pass me the sugar so that I can add some to my food. So here the sugar means the bowl of sugar. Again we say that children like sweets or chocolates. So here children refers to the collective whole of the group of children, of the class of children. But when we say where are the children, it refers to some particular children. That's why we say the children. We will never use the or any article before any meals per se. I took dinner, I took lunch. We don't say I took the lunch or I took a lunch. We never say that. Remember that we never use articles before any meal. However, when we refer to some kind of particular meal, we can use that article. That is to say, we say I took lunch today early, much early. But we must say that the lunch that you offered me was pretty good. It refers to the lunch, that particular kind of meal. So the lunch refers to the food offered as lunch. That's why we use the lunch. Again we will use the, as we said earlier. Let's conclude the lessons with that recollection. First say, Mount Everest is the highest peak of the Himalayas. So we never say that the Mount Everest is the highest peak of the Himalayas. We say that Mount Everest because Mount Everest is a single peak. We don't use the before it. But we say the highest peak. Why the highest peak? Because it refers to some superlative degree. Again, we say the Himalayas, that is the name of a mountain range, a series of mountains. So the chain of mountains is used as a definite article with a definite article, the. This was all for today. I hope you enjoyed my lessons to the utmost. So if you found any problems or any query regarding my lessons, you may ask me. You may feel always free to ask me in the comment section. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please don't forget to subscribe my channel so that you can stay updated from time to time with all my videos and with all my lessons. And also, please don't forget to bell notification button. Thank you so much for listening to me, and thank you so much for watching this video. Have a nice day. God bless you all. Thank you.